Welcome back to Let's Play Capo 2. This music is totally not fitting for what I'm about to mention. Well, since everyone's pretty much mentioned it on the internet pretty much because it's that freaking well known, I'm sure some of you would obviously know about it. Robin Williams, what happened to him, and I remember, like, when I actually heard about that, I was actually already pretty depressed at the time, and I was like, oh, you've got to know. And to have it, like, so, just, I don't really know what to say, honestly. I've been going through a pretty depressing time myself, really, and whenever I look at people that are also equally depressed, you always kind of notice something about them. They tend to be the type that try to stay cheerful in appearance, but inside they feel like they're being crushed, kind of thing. I feel like depression, and anxiety for that matter, two of the most common mental illnesses and also very misunderstood by people. It's just like some people just can't understand it unless they experience it themselves, I suppose. But yeah, it really does suck. And this music really does not fit the subject. So let's drop said subject, because that's a depressing subject, and get on with the plot. I'm kinda bored. What should I do? I can't settle on anything. I guess I'll take a walk to kill some time. That's the thing about depression, though. I don't know if I ever come across as depressed or anything in my videos, but I guess, like, part of the reason I started LPing, really, and, well, I don't think it was part of the reason, actually. But I say that one of the reasons I enjoy recording is because when I'm recording, I'm not thinking so much, because when I think too much, I get depressed and frustrated. So it's kind of like my way of escaping from that shit, so that's why I continue to record even if, like, there are days where I'm just like, why am I still doing this? It's kind of, I don't know. Now then, where should I go? Let's see. Take a walk around the neighborhood. I decided to walk around the neighborhood and ended up in the shopping district. It's still on the subject and all, but with depression, like, I don't really mention it too much, if you've noticed. I mean, sure, I might be like, oh, I feel like shit today, oh, I feel depressed. I'll just say it here and there, but I don't really go into detail about it. And I feel that's kind of the way a lot of people that are generally depressed feel, is that they don't reach out to random people or anything like that, because, well, people can be kind of dicks, especially when it comes to someone who's, like, suffering with depression. So, the only real option is to kind of get some professional help with, like, therapy or some shit, you know? Just kind of what I'm doing, really, because my depression is just, feels like my life is in a loop. It's just awful. But enough talking about that, man. It's really just, nah. I decided to walk around, yes. I saw a lot of ads for year-end sales in the various store windows. And I could save us from that depressing subject. The shopping district was filled with that special end-of-year atmosphere. All in all, it hasn't been such a bad year. Hasn't been a bad year? This year sucked. I thought it over as I walked. Thank you very much. I saw Nanaka walking out of a nearby convenience store. She looked extremely excited about what she just bought. Hey, Nanaka. She came running over to me. She had a big smile on her face. I'm just taking a walk, and you? She pulled a white package out of the plastic bag. Huh? New Year's greeting cards. Wait, are you planning to send them out today? She seemed bewildered by my question. Isn't it a little late for that? Most people send them out before Christmas Eve, so they'd arrive by New Year's Day. Until Christmas had passed. She stuck out her tongue and smiled. I see. Tanaka, it seems, is a last-minute kind of girl. Now look at this here. Tanaka, comma, it seems, comma, is a last-minute kind of girl, full stop. Now when I look at stuff like this, I'm just like, my grammar is terrible because I still haven't fully understood the use of commas, and that's actually part of the reason I feel frustrated and depressed. I'm just like, I want to further my education. I want to freaking be able to use commas effectively, all times, every time, just like be perfect with it. Just like, god damn it, why? It's like my nemesis, man. I like writing, and I'm actually not that bad at writing. I got plenty ideas here and there for stories and all that. The problem comes around when the comma turns up. You should see my writing years ago, like when I was maybe like 13 or 14. Just like no spaces, no commas, just full stops. And there was no freaking just like, okay, full stop, next line or anything. It was all jumbled together. It was like, that's the most terrible thing I've ever seen. Look to the side, and the drawing's not too bad, I suppose, but that's the worst freaking writing I've ever seen. It was ridiculous.
吉行くんにも出すよ。でも、簡単には届かないかもね。
What I do know about commas, though, that's the thing with me, man. I literally just like... It feels like I've forgotten quite a bit of what I learnt in school, and because I had to be taught at home, it got limited about halfway through anyway, really. So, a lot of the stuff I learn is kind of from just self-taught, really. Just look up stuff, try to learn something new. And you know what they say, like, video games are bad for you. Freaking video games taught me quite a few things, man. I learned quite a few things from video games. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but still. But I know commas are used like as a kind of pause, which explains why I'm so crap at them, because if you notice my kind of way I speak, I don't pause very often. So, yeah. So that's one way of using a comma, but then there's also other ways of using a comma, like if you say like, I'm going to get some bread, comma, eggs, comma, and milk, or some shit like that. I don't know. That's an example of it. But still, it confuses me, and I feel like an idiot for it, which I technically am. I'm looking forward to it.
もしかしたら、始業式に渡すかも。
That would be way too late.
冗談、冗談。
That's more like the kind of thing Wataru or Suganami would do.
じゃあ、女子では私が一番最初だね。
Please don't.
そんなこと言うくらいだから、吉行くんはもうとっくに年賀状出したんだね。
Nope.
え
I never bothered sending any.
なにそれずるい。
Nanaka stared at me in shock. I didn't understand it. I never promised anyone that I was going to send them a card.
私出すんだから、吉行くんも出してよ。
I wouldn't write a card. I draw a card. And by that, I don't mean I draw the whole card. I write in the card, sure. But the main thing is I will always draw something random in the card. Like, let me think of a card that I've done in the past. Can't really think, honestly. But I'd always like, for example, with my dad, he has a bit of an afro. Not like a big afro, kind of a small afro, kind of... It's not really all that noticeable, really. But because of, like, that, and in the past he had a massive afro, so we always just call him Afro. So I'm always constantly, whenever it comes to cards with him, always gotta make a joke about the afro. So, like, I draw his face in just a massive afro or something. I don't know. Just something random, like doodle kind of drawing. All over the place and random jokes. And then it'd just be like, from Michael. And that's it. Just like, nope, I'll let the drawings, like... I mean, come on, it's just boring to just write your name and nothing else. Do a little doodling all over the card. But I hate doing that kind of...
吉行くん
Grr. You may always had to be that told me that I was rude for not writing cards back to people who sent them to me. She'd complain about it, but always send me one regardless, even when we were living together. is that cards in general? Can you imagine getting a birthday card and you send the birthday card back to them just like, no, not in that situation, you dumbass. I remember Coco saying something like that too. She'd also always send me one, even though she lived really close to me.
もらいっぱなしじゃ失礼だよ。
Whoa, you said it too!
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I guess it is kind of rude.
うんうん。遅くなってもいいから来た人にはお返ししなよ。
I just randomly remembered something. You remember 3 years ago? Yeah, I doubt any of you will remember. But some of you might remember it by the name, at least. The key clanned interviews thing that I did, which was like freaking 1 video, and that was it. Well, 2 if you count the other one. 3 if you count the little mini kind of date thing I did in the clanned LP randomly. But I was just thinking that, and actually the other day I was actually like, you know what, 3 years, man, and since that I just like, okay, let's get around to Tomoyo's interview, and then I was like, wrote and just like, well, only the start of it was just like, have Tomoyo just be like, it's been 3 years, I can't believe you kept me waiting here for that long. And then I just like thinking, just like, what questions should be asked to Tomoyo? And I can't really think of anything. And then I randomly thought of like a very deep question. It's like, so Tomoyo, what's it like to be a fictional character? Just like, what? What's it like to, you know, be a fictional character? Just like, well, then I went into a kind of deep kind of frigging thought into it. And it's like, well, a fictional character must be like, each time like someone else writes anything about the character that isn't the main author, it's more like a dream alternative kind of thing. And like for the actual fictional character, if the main writer writes anything about that character, that's like legit stuff. That's them not dreaming. It's just like, well, that's a weird way to explain it, isn't it? Seriously, I think it's some really random stuff, man. I guess I'll have to send some. Hey, give me any cards you have left over, okay?
せこいよ、よしゆきくん。
I guess I'll have to buy some. You cheap bastard. I wound up buying a pack of cards at the same convenience store. I'd have to get them out by New Year's at least. After that, Anaka and I wandered around the shopping district. We talked about the song we were playing with the band. You notice, whenever it comes to a town in a visual novel, it usually just has one background and nothing else. Though to be fair, it'd be tedious to actually multiple backgrounds, I suppose. Everywhere we went, people stared at Nanaka. She was the prettiest girl on the street. I felt proud just being able to walk with her.
かわいい帽子。
Huh? Nanaka stopped in front of a store window. They were selling a wide selection of hats, accessories, and patterned handkerchiefs.
ねえ、ちょっと入ってもいいかな。
You know, another thing I'd like to improve on? My vocabulary and my pronunciation. Definitely gotta improve on that shit. Yeah, sure. We still had time before band practice. It wouldn't hurt to hang out with her a bit.
かわいい。あ、このニットキャップもかわいい。
Nanaka was happily trying on all the hats in the store. I didn't know you like hats.
いろんな形の帽子を集めてるんだよ。
You know, I've said this before, but one word that I'm crap at pronouncing, despite, you know, it's the stupidest thing. Mother. I usually pronounce that incorrectly. I don't know why. It's just the stupidest thing. Oh, she tried on a red knit cap. There was a big puffball on the top, and it looked super cute.
どうかな。
She stuck out her tongue and assumed a playful model's pose. Let's see, which choice does it matter? It really does? So it's not like I like it or it's missing something. You gotta be like, it looks amazing! It looks amazing, that hat was made for you. Nanaka beamed as she looked at herself in the mirror. She posed at a few more angles. She looked just like a fashion model. She really did look good in it. She wasn't just pretty, her features were so striking. I think she would look good in any color or style.
義行くんにそう言ってもらえると、なんだかすごく嬉しい。
What would be an odd style to see Nanaka in? I'm not sure what they're called, but you know, like that hillbilly kind of clothes. Now picture Nanaka wearing that. What? Yeah, that's your reaction right there to me saying, imagine that. Just, what? My heart started pounding. No, nothing to be concerned about, it was just Nanaka's usual teasing. But I didn't really mind for all that. Nanaka hummed happily to herself as she went about trying on hats and accessories. No, I'm almost tempted to try to draw Nanaka in hillbilly kind of clothes. But that would just be too... well, I don't know, my drawing skills are probably on decline. I haven't drawn anything in freaking ages. I was impressed with Nanaka. She only got the sheet music yesterday, but she had already mastered the song. Wait, is this the song they're gonna be playing? Let me give it a listen here. Are you serious? No, there's obviously gotta be more to it, because all I'm hearing is just, I think, 2 chords over and over. It's equivalent of this. I've got my guitar and the amp and effects pedal this time, so we can do this much louder, and just like, oh no, 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 not again. Pain in the ass just to freaking get the freaking plug in there. Well, the cable. Well, it's the equivalent of something like this. Gotta do something like that at the end of everything. But Taro and Coco were also playing the song as well as they ever had. The problem was me. Even trying my best, I could barely keep up with them. Come on, let us hear the actual music here, not like this kind of... I mean, if this is really all you have to play, I don't know how you could screw up that badly if you've actually played guitar for quite a while. I'd have to practice all day when I got home. Oh no, these 2 chords. Oh, it's impossible. Heck, I was probably actually playing the exact same thing when I was like, here's an example. We ran through the song several times and decided to take a break.
結構いいんじゃない？
そうだね。昨日譜面渡した割にはスムーズに練習できたね。
I struggled a little myself. Wataru and Coco laughed at me.
知ってる。後ろから見ててもかなり義行必死だったよね。
I want to hear the real music. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if the actual version does have a tricky guitar part. Because whenever I see a tab of a Japanese band, it always tends to, a lot of times I find myself looking at the tab and just like, this is something you never see in like Western bands. This looks even more freaking complex. Just like you got freaking... just, what the fuck? I don't know, man. It just seems like they use different chords, even though they use the same chords, but it seems like they have different choices in some bands. Don't laugh, this is a serious problem.
でもさ、初めての割にはちゃんと弾いてたよ。
Or maybe it's just the way it's tabbed. Like this version of, what was it, Tengaku or something? Vocaloid song. I remember finding the tab for it, but it wasn't like a complete tab and it didn't sound right all the way through, but That's great. Let's see if I can remember it. It just has a very confusing kind of look to the tab. Something like that. The way it goes back and forth just looks confusing in tab form compared to pretty much any other kind of, I don't know. When I heard that song the first time, I was like, that's gotta be just like a power chord or something, right? Or a bar chord. But the way it's like written, it isn't any of the two. It's like, it's really confusing. It's not difficult to play, but it's confusing as hell.
途中何度か危なかったけど、とりあえず最後まで弾いてたんだし。
So it was obvious even to them. And here I thought I'd at least covered it up.
あとは練習練習。
Yeah, I promise I'll work really hard. The subject stayed on music for a while. You know, it was in the previous part, wasn't it, when I played, like, chords that I put together for a new song? I tried recording it yesterday and I could not do it because the freaking audio quality was shit. That and around the solo part, I was screwing up so much. It was like, god damn it, I can't hit that freaking... Why did I have to have a pinch harmonic on the freaking goddamn E string? It's really difficult to do. We talked about our favorite musicians and the song we were practicing. I like talking about music with them. Then Nanaka suddenly changed the subject.
ねえねえ、明日大晦日だけど、みんな何か予定あるの？
Not really.
お家の大掃除くらいかな。
俺は暇だ。
だったらさ、みんなで初詣に行かない？
Wataru and I cheered enthusiastically. Coco clapped her hands.
いいねいいね。真夜中に繰り出しちゃう？
We could buy stall food too.
焼き鳥。
Odin.
食べ物ばっか。ここも行くでしょ？
No, it's kind of funny, really, because it was only the other day that I actually uploaded a part of Persona 4 that had a festival of some sort.
もちろんだよ。行こう行こう。
それだけでいいのかな？
The faces. I knew they were gonna react to his voice, but I didn't think they'd react like that. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, they're gonna react in some goofy way. I wasn't expecting it to be that goofy. We heard a voice out of nowhere. It was a familiar voice, an unwelcome voice.
誰？
It's obvious.
誰かいる。
初詣もいいが、それだけで年を越すにはもったいない。何かイベントを盛り込まなければな。
You know, what happened with Suganami's plans anyway? I quietly stood up and walked in the direction of the voice. It was coming from the instrument storeroom next to us.
肝試し大会などというのはいかがかな？初詣と肝試し。なんとも素晴らしい組み合わせではないか。
He's like a sinister version of Kyosuke from Little Busters. Suganami. I opened the door to the adjoining room. It turns out he wasn't there, and then he turns up from behind.
真冬の肝試しなんてなかなか経験できるものではないし、夜中の学園で行うっていうのもまたオツでいいかもしれぬ。
Hey, Suganami.
おお、桜井ではないか。奇遇だな。
I grabbed Suganami by the shirt collar and dragged him into the music room.
お前だと思ったよ。はて、俺はなんでここにいるのだ。謎が謎呼ぶミステリー。とぼけんな。
年末に学校で何してるの？杉並くん。
なーに、ちょっとした散歩だ。
You came to school for a walk?
愚問だな、桜井。年末ともなるといろいろあるのだよ。
What a weirdo. I guess he's always been the kind of guy who would show up anywhere.
さっき肝試しがどうのこうのって言ってたけど、
You know, that sounds a bit like me in a way. Just randomly appears out of nowhere. That happens a lot. Because whenever I decide, it's like, ah, screw it, I'm just gonna walk here or there. Like, it could be outdoors or indoors, anywhere pretty much. And every time, you'll always get a reaction where someone's just like, whoa, I didn't see you there. Holy shit, where the fuck did you come from?
例えばの話だ、白川。ただ初詣するだけでは面白みがないと思ってな。
You know, whenever, like, I say, like, I just go to my mother's room or something, just get a can, and then as I'm leaving, she'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ, fucking breathe or something. Just like, what? Just like, am I really that quiet? Do I have to be like a freaking elephant? Do I have to, like, what? It's not my fault that apparently I make no noise when I move. What's so not exciting about it?
付属最後の初詣をただの初詣で終わらすのか？もったいないな。
You're the only one who thinks so.
確かにもったいないかな。
What? I didn't expect Nanaka of all people to agree with Tsunami.
男女混合で今年最後に面白く上がるのもいいかもしんない。ナナが本気板橋くんはどう？
I glance over to notice Wataru is shaking with excitement. His fists were balled up and could hear the passion welling up inside of him.
賛成じゃ！男女混合で面白怖いイベント賛成じゃ！
He says as he looks at Coco. That perverted mind of his was working again.
吉行はどうするの？
I don't know.
面白いぞ、愉快だぞ、やらないと後悔するぞ。
I feel remarkably turned off when you say that.
ねえねえ、いいじゃん吉行くん。肝試しやろうよ。
Nanaka grabbed my arm with a big smile. I couldn't think of a reason to say no. I guess it would be a good experience. It's a little spontaneous for me, but I guess we could give it a try. How about you, Coco?
吉行がやるならいいよ。
What?
なんでもない。私もいいよ。
決まりだな。今年最後を絶叫で飾る。いい年越しになりそうだ。
I'm surprised you don't have anything more cooked up.
アドバイスをしただけだ。じっくり楽しんでくれ。
He gave me a thumbs up and winked at me. Suspicious.
ちなみにこの風見学園には代々語り継がれてきた七不思議というものがある。それにちなんで肝試しをするというのも一興かと思うぞ。
Is that more advice?
アドバイスだ。ではさらば。
Good grief. What the hell was he planning? Oh well.
学校の七不思議か。それいいかも。あんまり怖いのは嫌だよ。
I'm not familiar with the seven mysteries. Are they scary?
俺もよく知らんけど怖いのもあるんじゃないか？
事前に調べて肝試しする前に説明しても面白いかも。
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird if, like, they're faced with this mystery, just like, what the fuck's that? And then it's just like, hold on, I got the papers explaining all this. Then you go all over it, it's just like, man, that is scary. Too bad we didn't know about that beforehand, now we know it's fake. That wasn't a bad idea. Someone could tell the mysteries as ghost stories before we actually went to the places in question.
よしゆき、気合い入れて七不思議を調べようぜ。
Sure. Everyone was getting pumped up, except Coco. This was looking like a New Year's Eve to remember.
それじゃあ私今日はそろそろ先に帰るね。
Nanaka started getting packed up. You have to go already?
ごめんね。これからちょっと行くとこあって。
That's okay, you don't have to apologize for that.
じゃあ俺もキリがいいしそろそろ帰るわ。
私はもうちょっとだけやってくよ。今のとこもう一度練習したいから。
The bass. Seriously, man, I should really try playing bass more often. It would help, like, to add to my, you know, songwriting very much. I can write lyrics, although I've only really done that, like, once for one song that I've actually wrote. But when it comes to the actual music part, I can only, like, do guitar parts. And I always tend to do the same thing. There's a backing guitar, there's a lead guitar, and there's the acoustic guitar. The acoustic guitar is there to kind of give like the main pattern melody with the chords. The backing guitar is to go with that at various points throughout the song, and the lead guitar just like has random guitar licks, maybe guitar riffs as well, and of course the solo. That's pretty much how I write. And I can't really add a bass in there because I don't know what to do with the bass parts. I have done that before actually, now I think about it, but I don't think it was an actually completed track that I was working on or anything. I think it's just one of those random ones that I did ages ago, and I just like... There's this one that I did put together that has like multiple instruments, but it's all pretty much playing the same thing. And it sounds a lot like Canon. You know, like... Petravel or something, I can't remember the name of the composer. It has a sound quite similar to that. It had like strings, a choir, an acoustic guitar. It just like played like... Actually, I'm gonna get it up a moment. Okay then, actually let's get the menu. Oh, what should I do? I wasn't supposed to click that. Do anything about that really without... That's great. We'll just do that. Look, you get a free tab. This is something I put together ages ago, and since I'm not going to actually make it into an actual track, might as well just show it on the screen. You can see like multiple different kind of instruments. You got the piano, guitar, harp, strings, and this is how it sounds. It has a really nice sound to it. So if you're like, want to have a good chord progression, right here, man, this is pretty nice sounding. It does sound like Canon, you gotta admit. It's gotta be the harp, man. I'm gonna actually improvise over this just to show, like, you know, like I've said before, I'm better when it comes to guitar, when it comes to improvising. Just like, is this an LP of a visual novel or a freaking let's watch some idiot play guitar? Well, I don't know. Let's do this shit. There we go. Now, let's actually get on with the actual, you know, visual novel here. Music back. Let's see here. Okay, enough of that. What should I do? Ah, god damn it, a moment. Had to get a walkthrough back up there. To leave now. I decided it would be most convenient if I just went home with Nanaka. I think I'm heading out too. Nanaka, can you wait a sec for me?
いいよ。
So
大至
wait,
急お願いね。
Is Coco's route technically possible even if you do, like, follow Nanaka's choices in the common routes? That'd be kind of odd. Roger.
日が暮れ出すと本当に寒いね。
Nanaka's breath came out in clouds of white. I nodded in agreement with her.
本当に肝試しするんだよね。
Yeah.
楽しみ。
Sorry, just unplugging the effects pedal there. It runs on batteries after all. Do you like that kind of scary stuff?
本当に怖いのは嫌だけど、お化け屋敷程度なら大丈夫だよ。
Doesn't really make much sense, does it?
一度ココと一緒にホラー映画見たけど、あれはダメだった。幽霊とかも怖いけど、気持ち悪いのダメ。
With you on that one, man. Gore isn't scary, it's just disturbing. Ah, me too. That kind of thing makes me feel sick, not scared. I'm with you there, Yoshiyuki. That's not... Well, actually, that would technically count as horror. It really is just like, that's the most horrifying, most revolting thing I've ever seen. Rather than just like, I'm scared, I can't go to sleep now. It's more of, oh, God, that image... bleh. That's like the difference between scary, kind of atmospheric kind of stuff, and just plain gore.
途中でココったら見てられないって言って出てっちゃうし。
I'll never understand why they make so many of those type of movies. That sounds about right.
あんまり怖くしないでよ。
Or gory, really. If it's all gore, you'll just be like, nope, 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 nope. If I wanted to see this much gore, I'd go to a slaughterhouse. We'll see.
ダメだよ。出ないともっとヨシユキくんにくっついちゃうんだから。
With that, Nanaka suddenly pressed herself up against me. She also took my hand. I could feel her warmth radiating from it. If this was what I would get, I would want to make it really scary. I'll talk about it with Wataru.
あ、ヨシユキくん照れてる。顔赤いよ。
Hey, what guy wouldn't blush a little from having a girl like you on his arm?
面白い。
She laughed, just teasing me as always. What? I guess it was just because of the lighting and coming down from the trees just made it seem like it was later than it actually was. Tanaka stopped walking as we reached the main street.
それじゃあ私、ちょっと用事があるから。
Maybe the sun was blushing. No, that's stupid. Nanaka took a few steps away from me. The wind felt colder without her beside me. But what could I do? Okay, see you tomorrow. She waved at me and walked away. She was heading towards Mitsukoshi Hospital. Mitsukoshi Hospital loomed before us, silhouetted against the evening sky. Some reason I thought of Dolit from Final Fantasy VIII when I saw that scenery. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was in a similar kind of location. I don't know. That night, Otane and Yume were at my house as usual. We were eating satsumas and watching a year-end variety show.
変な番組。あの若手芸人無茶しすぎ。年末だからね。
Well, you know, Japanese comedians are a bit out there. Otane gave an explanation that didn't make sense at all. I mean, have you seen, like I've mentioned before, that Gaki no Tsukai, whatever the hell? They're just like, what the hell, man? That's some crazy shit. Like, a variety of things, like, you could, like, the no laughing kind of Batsu game things they always do at the end of the year. I haven't really seen them since the Spy one a few years back. Then they've got, like, those ones where it's like, try not to be scared, although there's no real rule to that. It's just an excuse for them to scare the crap out of each other. Then you've got, like, I think they were the originators of that, no laughing, or something. I can't remember what it was. No, silent library. Yeah, that was what it was. They do like some crazy punishments, man. It's like, what the hell, man?
そういえば弟くん、
But I'm rambling. Interruption? Huh?
明日の大晦日何か予定とかあるの？
Yeah, I'm going to the shrine with my friends and told a test of courage later on. Yumi's finger pierced her Satsuma she was holding. The juice squirted out all over. Her face is like, what?
夜中に初詣？その後肝試し？
Oh, what test of courage? It'll only be that stupid fox. I didn't know why they were acting so screw that line. I didn't know why they were acting so surprised. Suddenly the expressions began to cloud over. What?
夜中に初詣に繰り出すなんて不良です。
Delinquent?
しかもその後に肝試しなんて危険にも程があるよ。
What's so dangerous? They glanced between each other, each feeding off the other's accusations. What's the big problem?
反対反対反対反対。
Why is that?
夜中にそんなことしたら蛇が出てくるよ。おへそ取られるよ。
What? That's just stuff they say to scare kids.
不良です。不潔です。大人の階段登りすぎです。
You're not making any sense.
とにかく弟くんと一緒にいられない大晦日なんてそんなの大晦日じゃないのよ。
From this impression is, at night, the snakes come out and steal people's belly buttons. Got it.
お餅の入ってないお雑煮みたいなものなのよ。
That fox is not doing his job then, and that face, man. Is that what this is all about? You just want to spend a night with me?
私はそんなこと言ってません。私はそう言ってるの。だってそんなんじゃ年越しそばも一緒に食べられないじゃない。
Okay. Well, then, why don't you come with us? They both immediately broke out into smiles, just like, oh, remember when we were telling you about the dangers of all that and how you're a delinquent and stuff? We're cool with it now. Atane's smile was big and bright as she nodded. Yumi's was more hesitant.
じゃあ年越しそばも兼ねた晩ご飯を月島さんたちと一緒に食べるっていうのはどうかしら。
That sounds good. We can have dinner here and then head to the shrine.
賑やかになるね。わあ、急に大変だ。何作ろうかな。
I'll help you.
私はコンビニでジュースとか買ってくるね。
Atane and I nodded silently. We were in the middle of discussing our plans for the next evening.
ただいま。
When Sakura-san came home,
なになに、すごい盛り上がってる。
welcome back.
おかえりなさい、さくらさん。おかえりなさい。
We told Sakura-san about our plans for New Year's. She smiled as she listened to us.
楽しそうだね。でも、はしゃぎすぎて怪我とかしないようにね。
You know those snakes are out there. She didn't seem to have any objection to our sneaking into the school at night, which meant we even had the principal's approval. What the hell?
大丈夫ですよ。私がついてますし。そう言ってる乙女ちゃんが一番危ないんだけどな。
Has she had that facial expression before?
嘘。さすがさくらさん、よくわかってらっしゃる。
It was looking like it would be quite a New Year's Eve this year. The 31st. I went off to school a bit earlier than usual to meet up with Wataru. No, it didn't go with the music, god damn it! It was nice that school stayed open for us to use the facility on the New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve. So what's the plan? The plan is, for next time, hey, let me check something actually. I don't know, man. I've been recording 46 minutes or so. That's not 2 parts, that's just 1. But screw it, I'll just deal with it. I'll record some other time. I'm interested to know what happens next, but I'll leave it for next time. So we'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.